enter corporate environments, believing performance alone determines outcomes. It does not. Performance makes you useful. Political intelligence determines whether you become influential. The modern corporation is not merely a workplace. It is a controlled hierarchy of perception, incentives, ego management, alliance formation, and strategic positioning. And the people who rise fastest are rarely the loudest or the most emotional. They are the most calibrated. This is why discretion matters. Oversharing is one of the most common forms of professional self-sabotage. The more people know about your emotions, relationships, insecurities, frustrations, finances, or personal life, the more surfaces they possess to psychologically map you. Information is leverage. Strategic people understand that familiarity reduces mystique while excessive accessibility reduces authority. Professional environments reward controlled visibility, not emotional transparency. The same principle governs alliances. Real influence is rarely announced publicly. It is built quietly through repeated alignment, usefulness, timing, and mutual interest. The moments of comfort appears desperate or overly visible. It stops looking like influence and starts looking like dependency. Power that advertises itself too aggressively usually lacks structural confidence. This is also why unnecessary conflict is expensive. Every confrontation consumes political texture. Every emotional outburst creates observers. Every public clash reshapes the sex. Intelligent operators engage selectively because they understand that today's rival may become tomorrow's gatekeeper, superior, partner, or opportunity channel. Emotionally reactive people create permanent enemies. Strategic people create temporary friction at most. And this is the deeper truth most employees never recognize. Yet most outcomes are decided before the meeting even begins. The visible conversation is often theater. Real power operates beforehand. Incentives are aligned privately. Opinions are softened gradually. Alliances are formed quietly. Narratives are seeded early. By the time the room discusses the issue publicly, the structure underneath the decision has often already been engineered. This is why understanding ego is so important. Every professional protects an internal self-image. Some need to feel intelligent, some need to feel respect, and some need to feel morally superior. Some need to feel dominant, visionary, indispensable, or admired. And people naturally gravitate toward those who reinforce the identity they already want to believe about themselves. Influence becomes easier when resistance feels unnecessary. But there is an important constraint. Manipulation without discipline eventually becomes self-destruction. This is where immature people misunderstand dark traits entirely. They assume Machiavellianism means constant deception. They assume strategic thinking means emotional emptiness. They assume power requires aggression. The most dangerous people in corporate environments are rarely chaotic. They are controlled. They know when to speak and when to remain silent, when to apply pressure and when to withdraw, when to appear cooperative and when to reposition quietly, when to reveal warmth and when to create distance. That is real sophistication, because executive level power is not about becoming consumed by dark traits. It is about being disciplined enough to use strategic behavior selectively without allowing them to control you completely. Moderation creates levity. Calibration creates influence. Emotional discipline creates leverage. And in corporate life, the people who consistently rise are usually not the most ethical, the most intelligent, or the most aggressive. They are the ones most capable of controlling themselves while accurately reading everyone else.
Peace of mind is not something we find by making the world go quiet. It is something we build deep inside ourselves, brick by brick, with the help of the people who truly see us. For a long time we have been taught that peace is a destination, a place we will reach only when all our problems are solved. But the spiritual truth is much simpler. Peace is the act of letting go. It is the moment you stop fighting the waves and start trusting the water. It is the release of needing to be perfect, needing to have all the answers, or needing to control what happens tomorrow. When you find a love that feels like home, peace of mind becomes a shared space. It is the silence between two people that doesn't feel lonely but full. It is knowing that even if the ground beneath you shifts, the heart beside you is firm. Peace is realizing that you are enough, exactly as you are in this breath. It is the gentle permission you give yourself to be soft in a world that is often hard. When your mind is at peace, your soul can finally hear its own music. It is a stillness that says, I am safe, I am loved, I am exactly where I am meant to be.
Al-Kharisi appears in traditions tied to spirit husband mythology, beliefs found across parts of African spiritual systems where unseen entities form intimate attachment to humans through dreams, possession, and and repeated spiritual visitations. These encounters are not treated as fantasy within the traditions themselves. They are believed to create real spiritual dawns capable of affecting physical and emotional life. The Alkarisi is said to appear during sleep. Not violently at first. The connection often begins through recurring dreams, vivid encounters, sensations of presence, or emotional attachment that feels stronger than ordinary attraction. Over time, the boundary between dream and waking life becomes unstable. The person may feel watched, drained, spiritually attached, or unable to maintain healthy relationships in the physical world. This is where the idea of the spirit husband becomes central. The entity behaves as though a spiritual marriage already exists in some traditions. This attachment is believed to cause repeated relationship failure, exhaustion, infertility, nightmares, sleep paralysis, or recurring dreams involving intimacy, water, ceremonies, or unknown figures returning night after night. Dreams matter because they are viewed as vulnerable states where the spirit becomes easier to obsess. The Alkarasi does not always force connection immediately. Sometimes it builds familiarity first. That slow attachment is what makes the law unsettling. The presence can feel seductive, protective, obsessive, or emotionally consuming all at once. The affected person may fear the entity while still feeling drawn back toward it repeatedly. Spirit marriage myths appear across many cultures because they reflect a deeper fear that unseen forces can form emotional and spiritual ones stronger than physical ones, influencing desire, identity, and relationships without visible proof. The Alkarisi is not only a story about possession. It is a story about intimacy becoming captivity so gradually that the person trapped inside it no longer knows where the attachment truly began.
Hair initiation, birth.
The first breath you take outside the womb is more than biology. It is your initiation into the physical world. Before that moment, you exist in water, held by your mother's body in the ancestral field. The instant you cry, breathe, and take in air, your essence locks into this body and this timeline. That is the version of you that chose to come here. In those first moments, you are completely open. A baby feels everything because the filters are not there yet. Energy, moods, ancestral presence, all of it is felt without distortion. The pineal is still clear, unblocked by the noise of the world. This is why many traditions treat the first days after birth as sacred and protected. The child is still standing between worlds, not fully claimed by the physical yet. Everything that follows, the lessons of earth, water, and fire, is really about remembering and returning to that original essence. Life adds layer after layer, family patterns, trauma, beliefs you never chose, rules about who you should be. The blockages build up, the pineal clouds over, and slowly you forget the clarity you were born with. When people say go back to who you are, they are pointing to that first breath. They are calling you back to the you that arrived before the world told you who to be. You feel the disconnection when your life feels hollow, when you know what you should do, but it does not feel alive. That is the gap between your air essence and the version of you that has been shaped by everything since. But that first breath is still in you. It never left. The work is not to become someone new, but to clear enough of the noise to hear it again.